though they were not so insupportable, nor of such value as those I have mentioned in another place. For nothing could satisfy me, nor was I able to contain myself, but rather it seemed as if my soul were really torn from my body. O admirable artifice of our Lord! What delicate industry dost thou use with this miserable slave of thine? Thou didst hide thyself from me, and yet even then thou didst press upon me by thy love, bringing me such a sweet kind of death, as the soul would never wish to be free from. Whoever has not experienced these great impetuosities cannot understand them, for this is not a kind of restlessness of the breast, nor like certain devotions which sometimes are wont to choke the soul, so that she can hardly contain herself. This is a more inferior kind of prayer, and therein we must endeavor to remove these impetuosities, by striving with sweetness to make them recollected within themselves, so as to calm the soul. It is something like when little children cry so much as to seem to be choking, and when they have something to drink, then their excessive weeping ceases. And so in this case also, reason should take the bridle in the hand, for perhaps the very natural constitution of the person himself may be the thing, which in some degree contributes to this state of mind. And therefore let consideration be used, for fear lest all should not be perfect, and the greater part might prove to have something sensual in it. And let this child be stilled by some caress of love, which may induce the soul to love by a gentle and sweet kind of way, and not by blows, as the saying is. This love should be kept recollected within, and not be like a pot which is suffered to boil over, because wood is piled on the fire without discretion. They should rather slake and appease the flame which is fed by this vehement fire with sweet and gentle tears, but not with such as are forced or painful, as they are wont to be which proceed from those sentiments I spoke of before, and which do much harm. Such I myself had in the beginning, and they always left my head so disordered, and my soul so wearied, that sometimes I was not able for several days to return to the exercise of prayer. We should therefore use great discretion at the beginning, in order that everything may go on with sweetness, and the soul may be taught the way of exercising herself interiorly. We must also endeavor as much as we can that the exterior may be avoided. Those other impetuosities and impulses are of a very different kind, for here it is not we who lay the wood, but the fire seems to be made quite ready to our hands, and we are instantly ready to cast ourselves into it, that so we may be consumed. The soul does not endeavor to make herself feel the wound which is made in her by the absence of our Lord, but they sometimes drive an arrow into the very inmost part of the heart, so that the soul knows not what is the matter nor what she desires, though she understands very well that she desires and loves God, and that this same arrow seems to be touched and rubbed over with some herb, to make her abhor herself for the love of this Lord. She would willingly lose her life for his sake. It is not in our power to express or relate the manner whereby God approaches such a soul, or the excessive pain it causes, which makes her not know what to do with herself. But yet this pain is so sweet, that there is nothing in this life which can give her so much delight. As I have said, the soul would be glad to be always dying of this disease. This pain and joy together did so distract me, that I knew not how they both could possibly subsist. Oh, what a thing it is to see a soul so wounded! It is just in such a way that we may well say she is wounded, and this for a very excellent reason, for she sees very clearly that she herself did contribute nothing whereby this love could come, but only that it seems some spark suddenly falls down upon her, from that immense love our Lord has for her, which sets her all on fire. Oh, how often, when I am in this state, do I remember these words of David? As the hart panteth after the fountains of water, so my soul panteth after thee, my God. Psalm 41. Methinks that then these words are literally fulfilled in me. Whenever this feeling does come on me violently, it seems to me that I can appease it a little. At least the soul endeavors to find some remedy, for she knows not what to do, by the performance of certain penances. But they are felt by her no more, nor does it put her to any more pain to shed her blood, than if the body were dead. She seeks modes and ways to do something, whereby she may suffer for the love of God, but so great is her former grief which she feels, that I know not of any corporal torment which can remove it. For the remedy thereof does not consist in any such things, since these medicines are too mean for so spiritual a malady. The soul, indeed, finds some little ease by these means, and by begging the remedy of her misery at the hands of God, though none she sees but death, for by this she hopes entirely to enjoy her sovereign good. At other times this pain afflicts the soul so severely that neither this nor anything else can be done, for it pierces the body through and through, and she can stir neither her feet nor her hands. Nay, even if she were standing, she feels like one transported, for she cannot so much as breathe. She utters only sighs, not great in outward appearance, because she cannot express them, but they are deep interiorly. Our Lord was pleased that I should sometimes have the following vision. I saw an angel very near me, on my left side, in a corporeal form, which is not usual with me. For though angels are often represented to me, yet it is without my seeing them, except by that kind of vision of which I have already spoken. But in this vision our Lord was pleased I should see the angel in this form. He was not tall, but rather little, and very beautiful. His face was so inflamed that he seemed to be one of those glorious spirits who appear to be all on fire with divine love. He might be one of those who are called seraphim, for they do not tell their names, but I see clearly that in heaven there is so great a difference between some angels and others that I am not able to express it. I saw that he had a long golden dart in his hand, and at the point there seemed to me to be a little fire. I thought that he pierced my heart with his dart several times, and in such a manner that it went through my very bowels, and when he withdrew it, it seemed as if my bowels came with it, and I remained wholly inflamed with the great love of God. The pain thereof was so intense that it forced deep groans from me, but the sweetness which this extreme pain caused in me was so excessive that there was no desiring to be free from it. Nor is the soul then content with anything less than God. This is not a corporal but a spiritual pain, though the body does not fail to participate a little in it, yea, a great deal. It is so delightful an intercourse between the soul and God, that I beseech His goodness to give some taste of it to him who may imagine I do not tell the truth. During this time I was in this state, I went up and down like one transported. I wished neither to see nor to speak, but only to be consumed by my pain, which was a greater happiness for me than any that can be found in creatures. In this state I continued some time, when our Lord was pleased I should fall into such great raptures, that I was not able to resist them, even in the presence of secular persons. And so, to my great grief, they began to be public. But, from the time I began to have these raptures, I have not felt this pain so much as that other of which I spoke before, though I cannot call to mind the particular chapter. But that pain is different in many respects, and more valuable than this. Then it seems as if our Lord forcibly carries away the soul and puts her in an ecstasy, so that there is no room for feeling any pain, because the enjoyment comes immediately. May He be blessed forever, who bestows such high favors on one who corresponds so little with such great benefits. End of chapter 29.